Schalten Sie Alex zu. Schalten Sie ihn zu. Ah, okay. Hallo Alex.
Hi, grüß dich, Frank.
So, yeah. So, I welcome you all back from lunch. I hope you had a nice lunch break and did use the time for networking and conversation, because that's also the other part of the ESG conference. And I would like to welcome you all back, and we have a very important topic, the CESGA 3.0, where do we go from here? And I think Fritz Mosberg this morning at the welcome already elaborated about how successful the EFFAS program was developed in the last few years, and that we have more than 500 people doing this sort of examination on a quarterly basis, and more than 3,000 people being involved. And who else could be the better person of giving us an idea about this was developing in the last few years, and where are we right now, and how do we go forward, than Professor Alex Bassen. And he, from the very beginning, is the academic director of the EFFAS CESGA program. And Alex, we just elaborated that a decade ago, we were all sitting in Berlin over the weekend and having a kickoff for this, also with René and Gunnar. And so I really like to welcome you. And ladies and gentlemen, Alexander Bassen is a full professor of capital markets and management at the University of Hamburg. And he is also member of the German Council for Sustainable Development. This is the advisory body of the German federal government. And he has also served as a member of the EFRAG project task force on the EU level. And besides his capacity at the University of Hamburg, he is also an honorary research associate at the University of Oxford and a visiting professor at the Hong Kong University. So I think, Alex, with this, I've prepared the ground, and I'm really glad that we have you here and you could spare time between your sessions so that you can give us an update about what is the CESGA program all about, and how do we go from here and driving it even more successful in the next few years. Please, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Frank, for the nice introduction. As I am right now in Berlin, I also thought about what we did here 10 years ago with you, René, Gunnar, Henrik, Frank. So a lot of people were already involved there. And I saw Gunnar and René on the agenda. So very happy to be here today and to describe what we are doing with CESGA, where we are right now, and what will be the next steps. So what we are, you know that we started the CESGA as a program which is dedicated to investors, investment professionals, and that, of course, the pressure increased in the last couple of years with the EU regulation, not only the one you mentioned already with the NFDR and the CSRD, but also, of course, the SFDR, Sustainable Finance Disclosure Regulation. So we focus on ESG data, on the question of reporting, also the focus on different asset classes, and the due diligence process. I just want to briefly summarize what the advantages are. When we started 10 years ago, it was one of the first programs, probably the first program. And at the beginning, it was really tough for EFFAS. So I'm very happy that EFFAS supported the program all the time. Even if the numbers were at the beginning not as high as what you just mentioned, Frank. So the idea was that we use academic findings for it. We are cooperating with practitioners. So there are a lot of practitioners involved in this program, because we want to give an incentive and also support for making decisions in the integration of ESG. So that's why we thought it's important to have an online program, that is recorded, that we have slides available, that we have a platform that EFFAS provided, and also the national member societies are providing. We also have online exams right now. At the beginning, we only had in-class exams, but due to COVID, now we are very familiar with online exams. So it's really customized to the needs of practitioners. And what did we change in the last year or so, the structure remains pretty much the same. So I would say we have this first 5 modules, which are, for those of you who have participated already, and Fritz, I know you did, so therefore you know the program as well. We start with a general introduction. What are the recent developments? Then we have a dedicated topic to regulatory environment. So every regulatory changes, especially on an EU level, but also internationally, if you think about the ISSB development, the reporting requirement of the SEC, this is all in the module number 2, and we put it in one module because actually it's much easier to update just one module where you have all the regulation integrated. Then I would say the usual suspect ESG strategies. And from the beginning, we said it's important to not only look at equity, but also at other asset classes. So we have dedicated module to all the asset classes that are relevant for ESG integration. Then ESG reporting, what we think is important. It's also the first step to the due diligence, so the ESG integration, because if you want to integrate ESG in research, of course you do need to understand what a company is reporting and not only use the databases, which are also very helpful, of course. Then ESG integration, and then the investment process chain. And what we changed is also in 3.0 already, that we have the case study, the company analysis, the case study, which is based on module 6 to 7, but we also have a portfolio management case study, which is new. So we integrated this module number 8 with the ESG integration, the investment process, also with the case study. So, and plus what is new right now in the modules number 10 is that we also cover the ESG regional developments. We did that for Asia Pacific already 2 years ago. We have a new one for Latin America and also for North America, because actually EFFAS started with a, of course, European perspective and focus, but a lot of these aspects are globally relevant, and most of you are global investors. So therefore, we think that it's important to have this complementary modules on the different regions, so Asia, Latin, and North America. All right. So right now we are still in the process of an update. So we have a new module or a new update, CESGA 3.1 for the Q4 this year, will be relevant for the exam March 2020 with this new, as I just said before, Latin and North America complementary module. We also started a cooperation with Clarity AI, where our participants have access so that they can work with the database. And we also integrated that into the case study just to give them a feeling of how to work with the data and how to integrate it in the case study. So free of charge access to the CESGA participants and the CESGA holders after they finish their exams. So just one example. Of course, we also integrated the other data provider with examples. So we have MSCI, Sustainalytics, ISS, ESG, you name it, they are all integrated in terms of slides. So we are not focused, of course, not focused on one data provider. So about the exam, we do not have that much changes in terms of the exam. We still have the multiple choice questions, so 20 multiple choice question. We have one case study with 9 open questions and 6 weeks free trial to Clarity AI app. And we have now, you mentioned that as well, 4 exam sessions every year, and 4 exam sessions every year. And it's really kind of overwhelming how open the market is right now for this program. I would also like to show you some figures, how attractive the program became in terms of the educational level. You can still see a lot of participants already have a master's degree, and age is between 30 and 39 or up to 49. So also a lot of younger or also senior people who participated in the program. And I think this is also our feeling that it's an advantage. You can enter to the program even if you do not have that much knowledge on ESG, but also for those of you who are advanced, if you go to the analysis, the corporate analysis, or the portfolio management, you will see a lot of new components or in terms of engagement, which you can use for your daily work. I just received an email from Singapore, from a participant from Singapore who said, well, he has his first engagement activity next week. And he said what he learned in the CESGA is extremely helpful for what he has to do next week. So that was a really nice feedback. And if you look at the professions, you do see that we have a very strong focus on asset management, portfolio management, financial advisory. So those who can really use the CESGA information for their daily work. 3,500 already from 78 countries. And I think this shows how international the program is. That was, if you look, of course, Spain and Germany are the most important countries. But number 3, and I think that's quite interesting, is Hong Kong. Why Hong Kong? Not only because I'm teaching there, of course, but EFFAS has a cooperation with Friends of the Earth in Hong Kong to start the program also there. And within 2 years, you can see we have 443 CESGA holder already in Hong Kong. So very attractive there. And we also started 2 weeks ago a cooperation in Singapore. So that means that CESGA will also be promoted and offered in Singapore to further develop the Asian market. Because also there, of course, is a very high need for education in that field. Yeah, here, just based on the map, it's Germany and Spain and also France. So still, of course, a very strong European focus. Also Switzerland. Renee, if you're still there, also Switzerland is a very important country for CESGA, and I'm very happy about that because we got a lot of feedback, very constructive feedback from Switzerland. Also, this is very important for us. So if we are updating the program, we are doing that based on what we are reading, but of course also on the feedback of the participants. So this is always very, very welcome to receive that feedback. And we are integrating this feedback into the version 3.1 we do have right now. And I have to say, next year, of course, we will also deliver a new version 4.0. Because in the field of ESG, it's almost impossible to change the slide, record the videos, and still be up to date with the development. So therefore, it's really necessary to update it every year and to have a complete new setup, at least I would say every 2 years, with all the videos, slides, and questions, and everything that is related to that. So on the platform, we also have a lot of, couple of hundreds of exercise questions for the multiple choice questions. So, and of course, also they need to be updated. So it really became quite complex, the whole program of CESGA. And but what you can see here also very successful. Here the distribution globally from 2014 to 2022, 72% is Europe, then already 15% Asia. And I think that's really a success, and it really shows that what we did here is something that is globally applicable, which is not only interesting for the perspective of the participants in these regions, so in Asia. I think it's also interesting for the European participants because you know what you will learn here at the CESGA is globally relevant, and with these global modules, number 10 for South and North America and Asia, I think we really provide a quite comprehensive overview combined with the different techniques in the other modules. All right, in addition to that, and I think this is something you're also familiar with, we do have individual company trainings. So a lot of banks, also some insurance companies use CESGA for in-house training. Also, this is something that is applicable. And here's just a list of those companies who are using the CESGA training for their employees. It's not the complete list. So if you say, well, we are using it as well, we are not on the list, this is possible. This is just a screenshot of some of the players in the market. I mean, we do not have to discuss that this is a very important trend. We just have some screenshot here how media picks up the ESG certificates and also the especially the CESGA program. By the way, also in Asia, the coverage, the media coverage of CESGA is quite high. So there are TV interviews, there are other media coverages. So the need and also the acceptance is quite high right now. So therefore, we're also quite positive that besides Hong Kong, also Asia, also Singapore will become an important market in the near future. So if you are looking for any additional information, I can recommend, of course, the EFFAS website and the platform you do have there as a CESGA holder. If you subscribe to the program, you have access to, as I said, the videos, the multiple choice questions, and also the slides. And if you have any further questions, do not hesitate to contact the EFFAS office. They're more than happy to support you, but also your national member societies are there to support your work. So thank you very much for your attention. And if there are any further questions, I'm more than happy to answer those questions. If you have any question in terms of how should I prepare for the exam, you could just ask Fritz, because he's very experienced in that as well. So thank you very much for your attention.
Are there any questions from the room here in Vienna? Yeah, Alex, I don't know whether you see it. There's a common word. Sorry, you forgot the CESGA holders from Principality of Andorra. So you see,
I'm very sorry for that.
So we will include this in the pie chart next year.
Okay, then we have 79 countries, not 78. Sorry for that. We will make the 80 this year, I'm pretty sure.
Great. Yeah, Alex, thank you very much for the input, and success is widespread. So we keep our fingers crossed that we can continue this road, and we are really glad that you are participating and that the rollout for 23 is already on the line and ongoing. And I think the last quarterly data point all in the right direction. So thank you very much for your effort.
Yeah, thank you for your invitation, and thanks to all of you for participating in CESGA, and enjoy the rest of the conference. Thanks a lot.
All the best. Thanks, Alex.